Se avete lavorato con Jay Parini, cioè se ci sono stati degli scambi, che cosa pensa lui del film, insomma come avete lavorato con lui?
Attualmente ho trovato il libro La stazione centrale a Siena molti anni fa. Ho letto la romanza nel treno. Poi, many years later, I was actually struggling with the decision to make a very kind of bad Hollywood comedy. And I just thought, I can't do this. And then I started thinking for some reason about this book again. And I had no idea where it was or whether the rights to it were available, they weren't available. And through pure chance, I met a friend in Hollywood who said, I know who has the rights. And my good friend now, Bonnie Arnold, who's here, also a producer on the film. And I said to her, I'd like to take a crack at this, and she said, fine. So I began writing before I started talking to Jay, and I think that was because I knew that the novel was narrated from multiple points of view, and I knew I had to find a different structure, and I wanted to find that structure before I began talking to Jay about the book. And then once that I had figured out an approach I thought might work, I began to talk to him, and talk to him more than anything about just dialogue polishing, and he had a lot of ideas about that, and was always incredibly supportive through every draft of it, understood the sort of changes that needed to be made, so to make a film of the novel. So yes, and he's been a huge friend of the project and continues to be. Really loves the movie, which I'm deeply grateful for, and his book, although the screenplay is a different animal in many ways, remains a constant kind of inspiration.
C'è una domanda lì?
Funziona, sì. Allora, buonasera a tutti, attorno per la signora Mirren, io più che altro per un grande assente che è Christopher Plummer, che veramente è straordinario, l'ho ammirato in Parnassus, l'ho ammirato in questo film ieri sera, forse doveva venire qui probabilmente. Quindi proprio sapere com'è stata la lavorazione, come siete arrivati, diciamo, a questo duetto continuo, che è veramente qualcosa di coinvolgente.
Well, you know, I was somewhat intimidated by the thought of working with Christopher Plummer. I do believe he's one of the greatest actors in the English language, both in film and on stage, living actors. He's an amazing actor with an incredible history, both in film and theatre. And so I was full of respect and slight intimidation. But of course, when you meet great artists, usually they're incredibly nice and easy people, and certainly Christopher was like that. I had met him before because he was in a film directed by my husband called Dolores Claiborne. So I had met him, and we always go and see him in the theatre whenever he's performing. You know, it's an incredible experience to work with an actor like Chris, and like you, I'm very sad that he's not here, because I think it's a towering performance. I think it's an absolutely fantastic, subtle but towering performance, and I'm as full of admiration for him watching the film as I was before I started working with him.
Can I say one quick thing about that? Because it was the most miraculous thing in the process to me was, I mean, there's some things that you can direct and there's some things you can't direct. And the relationship between the two of them, the way in which they convince you they've been married for 48 years, from the first frame together, the first time you see them in the movie together, is absolutely remarkable. And it felt like, man, I was so grateful for their genius when it came to creating this sense of a long marriage, because the success of the film absolutely relies on that.